Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cinderellimouse and today we are playing The Sims 4 Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. We have early access courtesy of the EA Creator Network, so thank you so much to them for that. Now I may have used a slightly clickbaity title for this video. There is a trend going around on the internet now which is doing either woke or liberal or Republican makeup on Sims. Now that is quite politicized. I want to kind of depoliticize this video a tiny bit, but I do want to kind of follow that trend. And I feel like Nancy Landgraab already has what people are calling Republican makeup. You know, it's kind of a little bit glam, maybe a little bit too much makeup. And I thought maybe we could redo her makeup in a more flattering way, but we're also going to tattoo it onto her face with the Businesses and Hobbies tattoo system. So what I'm going to do first is basically remove all her makeup, and I'm going to go in and kind of like, do you know what? I might even remove her eyebrows. Should we try and tattoo eyebrows onto Nancy Landgraab? Do you know, I know for a fact that I'm going to fail with that. I want to be quite fair as well. Like, you know, people vote for, you know, who they think is best to vote for. We can agree or disagree with people's politics, and I think the best thing to do is listen to each other and try and understand each other's views and understand why somebody might vote for a certain person over another person. And I think, you know, the world needs a little bit more empathy. So I'm going to take that angle for this video. And again, I just want to help Nancy out a little bit and really go for the looks she's trying to go for, but in a way that suits her and flatters her more. We're basically giving her a makeover here. So there you go. I think those eyebrows are slightly more flattering on her. And then I'm just going to go in and we're going to go to tattoos here. And I'm going to go to face tattoos, and we're gonna tattoo brand new makeup onto Nancy. Now, where do I want to start? Now, one thing that is kind of a trope of this trend is that the women who, and again, it's not necessarily who you're voting for. In the UK, we don't have a Republican Party, but we have women of a certain age who do this certain style of makeup. So I wouldn't say it's specifically anything to do with politics. I think it's more, you know, maybe a certain type of woman of a certain age where, you know, maybe the makeup's getting a tiny bit outdated perhaps, and you know, they're not keeping up with current makeup trends. I think that's more of what's going on here. And so one thing that people tend to do, so they don't paint plum bobs on the faces, one thing that women tend to do is they go in with a makeup shade, like a foundation shade, that's actually a little bit darker than their complexion. And this gives them what tends to end up being kind of a bit of an orange glow. I think they're trying to go for like a tanned complexion, but it ends up kind of looking a little bit orange and a little bit strange. And then you get that weird kind of like waterline where, if I just kind of move this brush size down, where people kind of stop their makeup here and then they end up with like quite a strange kind of like tide mark where their jawline meets their neck. So we're not going for that today. I don't want to do anything like that. So I'm just going to kind of remove all that makeup that I've already put on her. And what we should be doing really when we're buying makeup as women is going a tiny shade ever so slightly lighter than our current makeup as our base. So we should be trying to match our skin tone as precisely as we can, and not going, you definitely don't want to go darker when it comes to your foundation. And so yeah, I'm going to go slightly lighter here. This is probably a pretty good match. Let's go in with that. So I'm just going to kind of pop that on her face, and that just brightens up her face, makes her look a bit younger, and yeah, gets rid of that weird kind of tide mark on her jawline. And then we're going to go in with a slightly darker shade. Again, I've really got this really saturated here. And we're just going to sculpt her cheekbones a little bit. So we want to give her this impression of having a really snatched cheekbone. So we're going to go in like this. So we're not going here in the kind of concave section of her face. We're not going on top of her cheekbone. We're putting a shadow on the bottom half of her cheekbone, basically like this. And that is going to give her a natural shadow that just makes her cheekbones pop just a little bit. And I think that is all she needs, because she's a gorgeous, powerful, strong woman. And I think think that works really well for her. I'm actually just going to go in with a tiny bit of nose sculpting as well, just to kind of really emphasize her powerful nose. She has got quite a lot of shape to her nose there, so I'm just going to kind of use this shading just to make it look a little bit straighter, and then I'm just going to kind of make the edges of her nostrils a little bit darker there as well. I think that is perfect. I'm going to go in with a really, really light color as well, and I'm going to get a really small brush, and we're going to go straight down the middle like this. Oh, if I can. That's a little bit too saturated. I'm going to get rid of that. That is no good, Nancy. Why is it actually so? It's this brush that I'm using. I'm going to go to this brush, which is a smaller brush, and I'm going to try again. So kind of down the middle and just on the tip there, just to give her a little bit of definition on her nose. Now her lips are fantastic. She has that gorgeous Russian doll style lip that I know that I love. And I'm just going to really emphasize the outside of her lips with a little bit of highlighter here at the top, just to really emphasize that gorgeous pouty lip that she's got going on and kind of like where the light would naturally catch. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the brush a little bit bigger, maybe not to 50, but to about there. And we're going to go in with a little bit of highlighter here on her cheeks. Just again, just really catching those stunning cheekbones that she has and really kind of making her look a bit younger. Now, something that I see with this kind of trend, I also noticed kind of Koreans making fun of this look, like Korean and Japanese women kind of mimicking this kind of overly dark foundation look. But then like women are going in with too much concealer that's too light around the eyes like this. And that looks kind of weird. So we're not doing that here today. We're just using a concealer that matches our foundation shade, and we're really focusing the highlighter on the cheeks and the places that I've put them in already. I'm going to make the brush a lot smaller, and one thing that we're going to do here as well is we're going to go in with a much lighter shade like this, and we're going to really highlight just the inner corners of Nancy's eyes like this. Hopefully that is going to brighten up her eyes a little bit. Now, another thing that I noticed that women are doing as part of this trend, and again, it is kind of a trend that people are making fun of, what I think women who do this makeup are trying to achieve is something a little bit like the Sophia Loren look, or kind of that kind of 1970s kind of Charlie's Angels look, where they have the dark eyeliner and then the really light coloured lip. And so what women tend to do when they're trying to do this look is they go for a really, really dark, black, harsh line around the eyes, and they'll go in and they'll kind of put dark eyeliner right on the tide line, so right inside. I'm doing this so badly. They'll go in right like this and really, really ring their eyes like this, and it has almost a goth look. The problem is I find this looks quite aging, and so what we're going to do is we're going to remove that. We're not doing that today. And we're going to do something that's a tiny bit more flattering. So we're really, really going to bring this dark colour down. And I'm going to go for more of a brown, like a very, very dark brown colour, because it just looks a little bit more natural and a little bit more blended. So again, I'm going to keep the brush size really low, and I'm going to keep it quite transparent. And we're going to go in with something that's a little bit more smoky and a little bit less harsh like this. And again, you can use white on the inside of the eye to kind of make it look a little bit more open. But I do want to keep true to the trend with this really, really smoky look. So I'm going to go underneath like this, but we're really, really smoking that out. So it just looks a lot less harsh, a lot less aging, and a little bit more sultry and a little bit more smoky. So we're going to go in like that, and then we're going to pull this up at the edge like this to really kind of exaggerate that cat eye look. And then we're going to go in at the top of the brow bone here as well. So you can see where the crease is. We're going ever so slightly above that crease and like pulling that out like that. And that is just creating a really, really gorgeous smoky cat eye that is a lot more flattering, especially if you're like me and you're kind of, I'm in my 40s, and I find that that is more flattering than that really, really harsh look. So going in like this as well, and just really giving her this gorgeous smoky eye. And you can see that the brown is a lot more complementary to her blonde colouring than those darker colours were. I'm then going to go in with more of a pinky colour. I don't want it to be too pink. So if you watch my own video of me doing my own makeup on my Sims, I kind of did make it a little bit too pink. So I want to go for kind of like almost like a peachy orange colour. And we're going to go in and we're going to lighten up the actual lid of her eye like this. And then again, this is just going to open her eye up a little bit and really give her a really sexy kind of smoky doe eye look. And like I say, this is just going on the lid. And it does look like a very nice colour that's complementing the colour of her skin. It does look like, you know, it's very similar to her skin colour. It's tonal. Okay, beautiful. And then I'm even going to go in with an even lighter colour like this white, and I'm going to just put a little bit of shimmer on the middle of her eyelid like this. Gorgeous. I've actually done it better on Nancy than I did on myself. If I had lots of time, I would go in with the eraser tool and I'd really kind of like clean up these edges, and I'd really smoke this out. I'd probably use a couple of different shades to really make that look really neat and tidy, but I don't have time today. I'm just giving you the idea of the look that I'm going for. Another thing that women tend to do is they tend to go for a very pinky shade of blush, and they'll go in and they'll just kind of go like this, and it's it's because of really old advice that would tell you to put it on the apples of your cheeks, but again, that's not what we're doing here today. We're going for something that is more of a natural color. So I'm just going to pick like with the eyedropper tool, I'm going to go in and pick a kind of pinky tone that's already on her face. I might go for this lip colour here, and I might make it look ever so slightly more pinky and saturated. And I'm going to keep it very tonal and very close to the natural skin colour that she has. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to use that. And again, I'm going to put it on the apple of her cheeks. It might have to be just a tiny bit darker, but I'm going to keep it on the bottom side of her cheeks. I'm not going to do like a full apple. I'm just going to do it like that, just to give her some slight blush there without it looking too much. The next thing I'm going to do is her lips. Now, like I say, I think the women who are doing this trend are going in for like quite a dramatic eye and then quite a pale lip. And so there's that old thing that we used to do of kind of getting our concealer or our foundation and just entirely going over our lip with it. So I am actually going to do that. Let me go in and just increase the blush, I can't speak. Let me go in and increase the lip size slightly. Oh my goodness. I'm going to use a colour that she already has near her lips, and we're going to go in with this, and we're really going to kind of like blend in the lining of her lips with the skin around her. I'm explaining this so badly. We're really going in and we're kind of blending out the lip line into the surrounding skin. So we don't want to be able to see that kind of where the edge of her lip is, pretty much. We want to go for a really nude lip. Okay, and with a similar technique, what I'm going to do now is go in with a darker shade, and we're going to draw back in the shading underneath her lip here. So we want to have a little bit of shadow here. That's probably too dark. I'm going to go and do that again, but much more subtle. So this is just giving the impression of a fuller lip. And then I'm going to go in at the edges, and we're just going to give a little bit of definition to the edges of her lip here. Again, it's going to look very natural. Like, the idea here is for it to almost look like she doesn't have makeup on her lip, but we're avoiding that kind of concealer lip that feels very outdated. So we're just drawing a little bit of a darker corner here to her lip. And then we're also going to go in and kind of redraw in the line here at the top of her lip. And this is kind of a technique that you're going to see people like Kim Kardashian doing, where it looks like they're not wearing lipstick because all the lip liner and all the colour that they are using on the lip is entirely tonal, and it's kind of like colours that you're going to find on their face anyway. So it looks natural because it's not a harsh line or it's not a really contrasted colour. And I think that is not too bad. What I might do now is just go for an ever so slightly more pinkish shade, just to kind of add a little bit of something that feels like a natural colour just to her lip on the inside here. So again, we're going for quite a blended look, but one that feels very, very natural. There we go. Tell me what you think of that. She might just have a little bit of a gloss on perhaps. And then if I go up here as well, we can also kind of put a little bit more shine on her lip here and a little bit more shine on her lip at the top there, just to give that impression of gloss. So what do you think? Is that better? Do you think I've done a good job of Nancy's lipstick? Is it realistic? Maybe she doesn't need to keep getting those lip fillers anymore that give her that kind of duck lip. She can do it all with shading. I think that's quite flattering. And again, that is tattooed onto her face now. Yeah, you're going to be able to go in to any outfit, and that is just going to be like permanent makeup on her face. So going back in, this is kind of the makeup that she had on. I've kind of gone ahead and removed that, and this is a lot more flattering. And then what we can do is we can build on it with things like the nice false eyelashes. If you did want to give her a bit more of a sultry look, again, I think kind of a bit of a brown is a little bit better. And we can even go in and kind of add something like this and kind of bring the saturation down quite a lot, just again to give her a bit more of a glossy lip style. So let me know. I think that is much more flattering, much more modern. I'd probably remove a little bit of the white from the top of her lip there. I think that's too pronounced, but I think her eyes look fantastic. So let me know, do you like Nancy's sort of Republican makeover? I've taken her makeup and I've given her just, I think, more of a polished kind of modern version of the makeup that she was wearing. And I do think it's a lot more flattering. It does have a bit of a Kim Kardashian kind of vibe, I think. Let me know what you think. Was that an improvement? Is this something that you're going to try yourself? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, I will see you again soon. Take care, friends.